Good evening, my dear brothers, sisters, and friends. How are you today? Today is June 24th, 2011. We are having our monthly tea ceremony. Today, a lot of brothers and sisters are not coming because they are afraid of the storm. I think there will be some help, and it might be and storm. Last night, I remember I supposed to be at the airport to pick up some two young friends from Arizona, United States. I prepare to go because their flight arrived in Edmonton almost 1 a.m. in the morning. When I go upstairs, I have a phone call from a family who have a problem, and I talk with them and I counseling them on the phone. And when I focus to this family, I forgot the two boys at the airport. So about 1 o'clock, they call to the temple. They say, "You're supposed to pick up two boys, don't you remember?" I have to run. I told them that I guarantee within 30 minutes. They say otherwise they will send the boy back to the States. Maybe they just blackmail me. Last night, big rain on the way to the airport. Really big rain. You cannot see the road or anything. But I have to go there and pick up the two boys. I would like to introduce, this is Tim. Join your hands. Con chắp tay. This is Mike. Yeah. Tim was here last year for 1 month during his summer break to be with the novices, and he liked it. So this year he come back, and he has invite. Is that your friend or your cousin? Your cousin. They both came here last night. They have a good sleep. And they also will stay here for 1 month to practice and learn with the novices. But in America, they have summer break 1 month earlier than us. When I know that in this summertime, some other young friends will come to the temple to stay for 1 week, 2 weeks. For some of them, stay for even 1 month. And when I learn, some of them will come like this. And I remember the story I have read. And today I would like to share with you about that story. And one day there was a friend, a member who came to the temple. And after bow to the Buddha, and he walked around the garden of the temple to enjoy. And suddenly he met a monk who is a gardener. So that monk, he stand behind the monk and watch. And he saw the monk use the trimmer to trim some of the tree, the branches, to make the tree look more beautiful. And then later on, he saw the monk water some of the tree, which all the leaves have fall and look like it was a dead tree, but he's still watering that tree. And then after that, he saw the monk try to move some of the plant from the small pot to a big pot, or from this area to another area. And finally, he saw the monk try to dig the soil and make the soil soft and water only the soil. He was curious. He doesn't know why the monk have done all of that. He asked the monk, why you have to trim the tree? Because they are fresh, they are beautiful. Why you cut some of the branches off? He said that even this is a beautiful tree. But if you want the tree to look more beautiful, you have to trim some of the branches. That is no need. So the tree will look more beautiful. Same as you want to train a person. There are a lot of people in this life who are very successful in their careers. Maybe their job, their career, their business, or even in their practice. But sometimes we need to cut off some of the branch like this in order to keep their pride. They're proud. Otherwise, the tree will expand without any order. Look very messy. Same thing. In our daily life, sometimes we need to make things organized. Otherwise, things will be messy. When you are very, very successful in your lifetime, and maybe if you forgot to go back and reflect, you just, moving up, and one day you go to the place that you don't know how to stop. You don't learn how to turn off. You don't know how to come back and make things organized in order. Every one of us, we have a lot of pride. We always proud a lot of things that we have done. But we need to come back and, trim some of the things. I remember when I was a young novice, I have done a lot of good things that even my master, my teacher, and many people cannot imagine. A 14, 15 years old boy can do that good job. But when they try to praising me in front of everybody, and the master never happy with that. And I remember this is the master message. He told them in front of me too. He said that he is too young to receive so many praisings. Even though he have done a lot of good things. But remember, that is his challenge and his practice. There's nothing for you to praise him. He tried to lower my pride, my proud down. You look at when you walk on the street, and you can see sometimes people try to trim, to make things even, balanced and organized. Even they are strong and fresh, beautiful tree, flowers, still need to cut off some of the things to make it organized. If we are so successful, and sometimes we forgot to stop and reflect. When you are investing in stock, you must know how to stop. If you are so successful in that and you just put all your money in there, if it lost it, will be a big loss. Last May, I went to Las Vegas for the Visak celebration there. And do you know that like 90% of the population there, they are working in the casino. And they have shared with me a lot of things that they have seen. They say that when you are gambling, people go there for gambling. Actually, most of them are winners. They win, they are not lose. But they say, dear Thầy, do you know what? They don't lose for anything. They just lose for themselves. Because they cannot win their greed. their desire. When you bring in $100, and you can take back about $500, but if you stand up and you walk home and there's nothing to say. But usually people say, oh, this is my lucky day. They stay longer. But after that, they lose about $1,000. And now they think, I just want to stay back, even get back my $100. But too late. When you can realize that, it's too late. Same thing. So this monk explained the reason why I need to trim. Even that is the fresh tree, that is a strong and healthy tree, I still need to trim them to make them organized. And if you can see that this is a good practice for our daily life, we need to go back and stop and reflect. Do not think you are successful and you just go ahead and doing it without any stopping. Do you remember what is meditation mean? Meditation means to stop and to reflect. When you are successful in something, you must stop a little bit and reflect. What have you done? And how can you do it better? And the second picture, he tried to water the dead tree. And the monk explained, this look like a dead tree, but it's not. If you put your effort, if you put your attention, you still maybe can save the tree. Same thing. In this life, some people, you think you cannot help them anymore. This is the really bad person. You want to give up. But with your loving kindness, if you try to invest your time, your effort, you may help that person to renew their life. Of course, we will do our best until we have done all the best, but we cannot help. And in that moment, you will accept the situation. But don't just give up so easily without any trying. Because in the dead tree, sometimes they still have the effort of living. I received an email from a young friend a month ago. He said, Thầy, I don't know why I can continue my life. I found that I have no meaning for this life because I have done a lot of bad things. My body, my mind contain tons of sins. So now I just want to die because I think I could not live. And I feel that I just waste my lifetime here. Soon I received that email. I replied right away. Don't ever think that. If you realize in the past you have used your body, done a lot of bad things, and now it is time for you to use this body to renew you, to do good things again. In our Buddhist history, we have a very famous monk who wrote a lot of books against the Buddha's teaching. And one day, he awaked and he realized that why I should do that. The teachings of the Buddha have helped a lot of people. And why I didn't see it and I done all of that against things. He wanted to die. He wanted to cut off his tongue. But his blood brother said, no, don't do that. In the past you have used your hand, your tongue to against Buddhism, to against the Dharma, and now you use this tongue, you use your hand again to write, to explain and to expand Buddhism. You look at the bare tree in the winter time and you can see they're all gone, look like a dead tree. But if you bring them whole inside with hot water, a month later, you can see all the leaves come out. That is something we do during the New Year. Every year, our brother, what's his name? Kathy and ông cho mình cây là gì? Brent. Kathy and Brent. Every year around December, they will bring some branches and I soak in the hot water, warm water. A month later, all the new leaves come out. And we put some of the fake flowers in. So that is the reason why we have done all of that. I remember when I was first entered the monastery, I always complained, my brother, sister with the master. I always see them think they are doing wrong. And I always say, Master, you could not accept them in that way because they have done wrong. They are not follow the rules, stuff like that. The master say, when you are in my position, automatically you will do the same. Because the master always used his compassionate to accept people, no matter how bad things they have done. But he believed that with our loving kindness, we can embrace and transform them. Look like they are a dead tree, they cannot help. But with your loving kindness, who knows, you can cultivate something miracle. Some people, they almost die. The doctor gave up. And the doctor told the family, get ready for the leaving. But maybe 2 days later, this person awake and healthy again, get well again. Miracle. Same thing. People in this life, if we put our attention, our love in order to help them, they can transform. And the third thing that the monk have done is moving from this area to another area. He asked the monk, why you do that? And the monk said, you have to understand each of the tree, the plant, and move them, find for them the right environment. Right? Some of the plant, they cannot stay there too long. They stay in the pot for maybe 1 month, and then after that you have to move out. They need a larger plot to expand their root, to grow big. Same thing. A human's life, we need to find the right environment to live. That's why you see that all the young monks, they're still kids, they're still young, they still like things, but this is a good environment for them. Their parents know how to find the right environment for them to stay in. And they, of course, they have to accept, they have to like this environment in order to be happy to stay. Every Friday, we know how to find the right environment to begin our weekend. Tomorrow and Sunday we have a day off. We have 2 days off. Today is the last day of working. But we come here to recharge after 5 days of working. We know how to begin our weekend. This is the good environment. Today I have 2 monks from Sri Lanka. They came and visit. And after they pay respect to the Buddha, they walk around the temple, they sit and have tea with me, and they enjoy the beautiful environment of the temple. So do you remember that we are the plant? We really need the environment in order to grow. That is the reason why you need to come to temple, to practice center, because the practice center have the right environment to support for our practice. You stay home is fine, but telephone rings and a lot of things around you have to do. You have to answer. So when you want to meditate, you have to find the right spot, the right time. We are not a saint yet. We can walk right in this quiet world, but at first we need the environment. It's the same as when you want to take the food for your body. You must know what kind of food you intake to nourish your body. This body, we need food. And our mind, we also need food. So every day we need to find both foods for the both physical and mentally. But we have to be clear and aware what kind of food, what kind of supplement that able to support and nourish this body and this mind. Because when the body is not good, the mind also sick. When the mind is sick, the body also sick. Body and mind, very important. For example, you drink tea, you eat cake, you nourish the body. You listen to Dhamma talk, you nourish your mind. So once you come to the practice center, once you come to the temple, you're both physical and mentally have nourished. Every Sunday morning you come to do a chanting. What is that? That is the food for the mind. You listen 45 minutes for the Dhamma talk, that is food for the mind. 12 o'clock, we invite you to go downstairs. Each of us have a plate of vegetarian food. That is food for the body. The Buddha have taught in the sutra 4 kinds of food. And if we are not mindful to take the food, and the Buddha give an example, the same as you eat the body of your son, the body of your daughter. Why is that? Because we eat, we intake, we consume something that is totally not good for the body. I have learned some of the country right now. The teenager, the young friends, the young brother, young sister, they lost their path, they lost their way. Now they just, damage their body, their mind, by drinking, smoking, drugs, alcohol, everywhere on the street. So I told the young monks a lot of time, I have put a lot of trust, a lot of faith on them. And I really wish they can continue our work to help for their generation. Like our sons, our daughter, our grandchildren at home. When they grow up, they are maybe the same age, same generation. And these young monks are able to help them. I'm here with you, but our next generation, we need their help. So we need to find the right environment to support. And we also need to protect this environment. I visited a family in California last week, and they told me that their kids cannot access the internet. They cannot access any computer at home. They set up the password. And then when they need to use the computer, the parents will access the password for them until they're 15 years old. Before that, they cannot access any computer by themselves. When the young monks first came to the temple, I have to set up all the time to use the computer. So any computer that they want to use, I will access from my main one, and then downstairs they can use it. Around 10 o'clock or 9:30, I turn it off. We know that technology are very helpful, very useful, but we have to be very mindful to use them. Otherwise, just sitting in front of the computer, but that environment have enough capacity, ability to damage our life, to damage our body, our mind. Very dangerous. So every time when I share, I wish the young monks, the young people can hear my words. They all come from my heart. Because I have go through, I have experience, and I think you all too. You have experience. How important the environment for our human's life. Even we are old now, 50, 60, 40, but we still need the good environment to stay in. Young people, you don't trust me, you don't believe me, you can ask your parents. You can ask senior members. Is that right? If not, they are not here with us every Friday. You are here with us on Friday because you know this is the environment to nourish the body and the mind. Do you understand me, Mike? Tim? Chắp tay lại. Thầy hỏi con chắp tay, con answer. They are like a young tree. You know, like in Japan, they have an art, a hobby. They bend the bonsai. You have to bend like it's still young. That is how Vietnamese people use an example. Dạy con từ thuở còn thơ. You want to teach your kids, you must teach them when they were very young. If you wait until they are too old, they become, a very strong branches you cannot bend. If they're still a young willow, a young branch, you can bend them whatever way you want. And I really thanks to the environment have nourished me since I am 7. And you know that as a young monk, they live in the temple, and their material life is very limited. And because their material life is limited, that's why they learn how to appreciate whatever things they have. At my time when I was in Vietnam, my mother only have enough money to buy some soy sauce. But if any day we have enough money to buy some soy sauce, we don't have enough money even to buy a cucumber. So every day just rice and soy sauce. And sometimes we don't have enough, some day we don't have enough rice to eat, we need to mix potato, we need to mix with potato in the rice. So some of the grain of the rice can stick with the potato and we eat the potato. In Vietnamese we call ăn độn. Độn means you mix something in there. It's like someday you don't have enough rice, you eat bread. You mix something in. And that's how we live, how we eat in Vietnam. So now when I go to the temple, everything I eat, everything I use, I always try to save, and I never dare to waste anything. And the ladies ask me, Thai, you have to tell us the truth, whether the food is good or not. Everything we give you, you always say good. I told them, I honestly, to me, any food that they give me is tasty. Because I have lived in the environment in the time that we are very poor. Someday I remember when it's big rain, we cannot sleep. We have to use some of the pail and put the pail on the head and let the rain drop on that pail because our roof is, is missing. Some of the tiles is missing and the rain goes through the house. We need to stand up and use all kind of pots, cooking pots, all over. And someday we cannot lie down and sleep. We just need to sit like this and sleep whole night. I don't mind to share the truth. Because the truth always gives you the learning. The truth always training you. The truth always have the frame to turn you, to transform you, to become a better person. Like when you see the truth of death, the truth of old age, of sickness, and you will take good care of your body, and you know how to live with letting go and forgive more and more. Why you need to attach, why you need to angry so long? Because life is so fragile. This morning I attend a funeral of a man who is only 56 years old. Nothing happened to him. He is not sick, nothing at all. He's answering the phone and suddenly he pulled off the phone and then he died right at the table. Yesterday was a memorial service for him, and this morning is the burial service. His picture at the back. Nothing, he's not sick at all. Still healthy. Just answered the phone, and while he talked on the phone, he couldn't talk anymore. He dropped off the phone and he died right at that place. And you can realize how fragile of the life, how impermanent. We have learned that and we know how to appreciate every single day of life. And you open your heart to accept more things, to embrace and to help you to transform your suffering, your anxiety, your sorrow. Learn to forgive. Learn to forget. Learn to accept, learn to love. Because if we are not sick, we will think we are always strong and healthy. That's good. Once in a while we get sick and we know this body is not healthy at all. We have learned this. Reflecting on your physical body, do not wish that you are always healthy. Because if it's always healthy, you always increase your desire, your negative desires. That is the first contemplation in the 10 contemplations taught by the Buddha. Reflecting on this physical body, do not always wish is to be healthy at all times. Because without sickness, you do not realize this is impermanent. Without sickness, your negative desires always increase. In Tibet, people meditate on impermanence of life in order to get rid of their sexual desire. They sit in front of the body, a dead body, for 10 days, for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, to see how the dead body turn and smell bad. Because some of that is the practice for people who have a very strong sexual desire in them. They need to sit in front of the body and reflect on it. So meditation, we need to find an object for our meditation. People who are always angry, they need to find an object to get rid of their anger. Is what? The impermanent. How impermanent of our human's life. You can die anytime. Why you need to contain your anger in you that long? So impermanent is an object for those who are attached to their anger. And the monk tried to dig the soil and water. He asked, why is that? Why do you do that? The monk said, do you remember in this soil there are some seed? And if the plain ground and you never dig and to make it soft, you cannot plant anything. Your mind is the same. Humans are the same. You need to what? You need to convince, you need to encourage people to do something good. Let's say sometime we call a friend to attend mindfulness day. Oh, I'm a little bit lazy today. When you say, come on, go with me. There's no fun without you. Go with me. I come and pick you up. Okay. You convince people. You encourage them to do something morality. In our wedding ceremony booklet, I have wrote in that booklet a statement that they both need to talk to each other. I shall take you as my lawful wedded wife. We will be together in poor, in rich, in sickness and in health. And I will encourage you to do something morality right. That is the last sentence that I have given in that. As husband and wife, sometimes you need to encourage that person to do. Some of the ladies in our temple, they go to temple, but their husband never go. And I told them, you don't have to forcing them. You do not force your husband, but encourage them. Go with me. I feel more happy if you go with me. They feel much better when they go. So we need to encourage. It's like the ground. If you leave it there, it's become very concrete and very hard to dig, and nothing can plant there. You need to dig them up and make them soft. Spray some water in. Some seeds in there. The good seeds in there. Every day we need to do that. That is the reason why we need to do chanting. Because when the chanting is made, it is the time for you to intake all the good water, to water for your mind. The mind is like the hard and thick ground. And the teachings in the sutra, in the chanting, able to help us. So you can see the gardener, he is a gardener monk. But while he doing that, he has reflect. He did meditation. He doesn't need to sit on the cushion. When he do gardening, he still find out some of the technique, some of the art to apply into this daily life. Sometimes you hear me sharing something that happened to me. For example, last Thursday, on the way fly to California, I got sick on the plane. And when I get off the plane and to wait for the connecting flight, I have to find a cone. I go to the washroom and I do the spoon massage because I feel very hard to breathe. And I don't have any oil to help me. So I use hot water. I put on my chest and I use the cone to massage. And 5 minutes later, after I finish massage my chest, I feel release, I feel light, I can breathe. And after I have done that, I have reflect. In our daily life, sometimes we suffer. We are looking for someone to help. But if in the meantime we cannot find anyone, we have to do something in order to transform, to help ourselves. And how to do that? That means let it go. Because we believe that when we are sick, some of this, the wind, some of the, the bad environment go through your body and make your body not well. You need to use a cone to take them out. You have swallowed a lot of negative things into your mind and make you feel very heavy. And now it is time for you to dump them out. Let it go, release it. And once you release it, you feel relaxed. The Buddha has no capacity to give us anything. He only gives us the guidance. This is the path, this is the way, this is the map. You want to go there, you have to go. So when I learned that there will be some young friends come to our monastery and stay during the summer break. And I remember the story about the gardener monk. So I would like to share with you the story. And I think this is a good story for all of us to remember and to find a way of living. Okay? Trim your tree. Move your plant. Water that tree and digging the soil. These are all things we do every day. When you know that is not a good environment, please don't stay there too long. One of the teenagers came to Thầy and said, Thầy, how can I overcome my computer addiction? He addicted to computer. I say that if you find that it's not time for you you should go there and you should walk out of your room, find something else to do. I remember there is a senior monk who always asked their students, moving the stuff in the temple. I want you to move this bench over here, move everything around. And one day, one of the monks asked him, why? Your mind is not stable. You ask us to move things around the temple every day. You know what he said? Because you guys have a lot of energy, I need to burn them all. So when you move, because you're too young, you have a lot of energy, right? And if you cannot using them right, and then you cannot successful in your practice. So I make you do things, and you get tired. You just go to bed and sick, and sleep. You don't have to lying there and thinking of anything else. When you're too tired, you just wish to lie down and sleep. That is the art of training a person. And I remember a lot of things my teacher. Remember, when you teach people, there are 3 ways to teach. You teach them by sharing, by talking to them. You teach them by your action. You teach them by your thinking, your thought. There are 3 ways to teach a person. So my teacher, he teach me most of his by his action. He just done what he need to be done. We look at him, we learn. And I hope all the young friends have done the same. If you don't hear a lot of teaching from your teacher or your parents, you can learn from what they do. You can learn to what they have taught. And remember, if you are the parents, you need to cultivate, you need to train your mind. Instead of thinking negative, you need to train your mind to thinking about positive. Because your positive thinking will become a good lecture for your children. Your loving speech will be the good words, the good example for your kids to learn. Your positive action also will become a good lecture for your children to learn. So the children encouraged to learn from your parents, but the parents also encouraged to train, to cultivate, to turn you in such a way that your children can learn from you. One day we're still alive. One day we still need to practice and learning. Learning is like eating. Practice is like breathing. You do not breathe, you die. You don't practice, that is not good. You don't drink, you don't have enough water in your body. Your body will be dry and you will sick. Learning is the same. You can stop eating for 1 month, but you cannot stop drinking. And you can see that practice is even more important than that. What we have learned, we need to practice. There's no way can guide us, can bring us to the true happiness unless we learn and we practice. That is the only thing we can do. Business, money, fame, successful, all of that unable to give us happiness and true joys. This morning, when I attend a ceremony, a funeral ceremony, I told the daughter and the son, they're still young, and I told them, now, you want to continue to hear your father's teachings, you cannot. The only thing you can learn from him is to recognize he is in you. His blood, his love, his care, his word, his smile always in you. If you know how to live your life meaningful, that means you are nourishing, you are protecting your dad and your mom. We get an example. If the parents still alive, it's like a guitar that you can play well. The parent is no longer with you. It's like a guitar with a broken string. But the broken string can replace. But once you lose your both parents, you cannot find them again. That's how Vietnamese folk song I have learned when I was a young child. A broken guitar can fix, can renew, can replace. But once you lost your parents, you cannot find them anywhere else. Even you travel this whole world, this whole planet, you're unable to find the mother's love. Thank you for your attention today. Thank you for your listening. I hope that with my sharing, the young friends can understand and apply into your daily life. Every single thing I have shared with you, they all come from my heart. I just have the only wish that I can share what I understand, what I have practiced to my future generation, to my younger generation. And the only hope that they can live their life in peace, in joy. And then they can transmit that peace, that joy to their next generation. Enjoy your evening and enjoy your weekend.